Good morning, dear children. Let's continue lesson number 7 across 3 millennia. Dear children, so far in Philip's story, we studied that he was in need of job. His family was starving. So he went to Simon in search of job. Finally, Simon also thought to give him a job. So he thought to test him. And in Lalda's story, we studied that she was in the spacecraft and she has put the ship in the autopilot mode and all the functions were going on correctly, properly. But when she noticed that there is a glow on the fifth scanner and she got little nervous, and but still she tried to console herself that the people on the earth are watching over her and autopilot is telling all the functions are correct, so there won't be any problem. So let's see what happened further. We are on page number 84. Be ready with page number 84, all of you. Let's start today's class with Philip's story. Philip gave a little shake to get all the beads down to the side of the abacus. Now abacus was already in his hand. It was the time for his test. Then he took a deep breath and set up the 350 because Philip is given the task by Simon. What was the task? You can see here Simon's voice break in, add 350 and 75. The task was given him to add 350 plus 75. So now he arranged his abacus. He took a deep breath and set up the 350. None on the first unit row, because unit row means ones row. You know the places of, in maths we know the digits are given the places, ones, tens, hundreds. Here units is set for ones. Okay, so as the digit on ones place is 0, that means 0 means nothing. That is why he took no bead in the ones row. 5 beads on the second, the tens row. In tens row he took 5 beads, 3 beads on the third, the hundreds row. So likewise he arranged his abacus. Well, that was easy enough. Now to add on the 75. Now he was supposed to add 75 in 350. Philip moved 5 beads over on the unit rows. That was fine. Now in unit rows he moved again the 5 rows, 5 beads. Then he looked at the tens row. He couldn't move 7. There weren't enough because in tens row already he moved 5 beads. So now the beads were not sufficient. So what he did? Then he looked at the don't panic. You know what to do, he told himself. In his study time, he learned how to use the abacus. So he told himself that not to be panic, not to be afraid. He knows what to do. He moved 1 bead over from the hundreds row, then 3 back from the tens row. So he did all the proper calculation. 1 bead he moved on the hundreds row and 3 beads he put back from the tens row and read his answer of 425. Then he got the answer 425. Simon nodded matter of factly, that's it. A subtraction now, I think. And that was the right answer given by Philip. So Simon was satisfied with this answer and he said, now it's the time for subtraction. Come on, Lalda's story. Hands shaking. Lalda moving over to get a reading on the ship's surrounding temperature. She was taking the ship's surrounding temperature. You know, earlier the temperature was taken by Lalda was 2.61. Okay, now again she took the surrounding temperature, it was 2.84, means the temperature of the surrounding was increasing, and it had been 2.61 earlier, now it increased to 2.84. She sat back in her chair, heart thumping. Surely that meant the ship was moving towards the sun. She couldn't believe it. Now, seeing the increasing temperature, she understood that surely the ship is moving towards the sun. That means she was in danger. She lifted her eyes to the row of lights at the top of the instrument panel. Green, every single one of them green. What had gone wrong? When she looked at the instrument panel, she could see each and every light was green. Green means everything is functioning in a proper way. So she was not able to understand what was going on wrong here. Suddenly, with a furious movement, she launched herself at the console. Her fingers flew on buttons, switches, dials, keyboards. The answers were still the same. As far as CMF 22 was concerned, the ship was on course. Then she took her seat at the console. Now she just flew her fingers on the buttons, on the keyboard. She tried to check everything, but she could not get any mistake. Everything was going on in a correct way, and she was in CMF 22 and it was on course, it was moving. She gritted her teeth. Right now she was really going to put that computer through its pace. Self checks on all functions. Now she thought that she will start self checks. Earlier the ship was on autopilot check. Now she thought that she will start the self check functions. She will operate all the functions manually now. For an hour or more, Lalda worked at the console as she had never worked before. This was the first time she was all alone in the spacecraft. So it took a lot of time, but she found no signs of malfunction. Malfunction means signs of failures. Okay, after her manual check also she did not get any failure. The ship was on course and would be docking on Earth in 19 days. Ship was on course, it was moving and it was supposed to reach on the Earth within 19 days. She had panicked unnecessarily, or had she? Now she was panicked, she was little afraid, or had she? Whether really she was afraid or simply she was getting afraid. She was confused whether her doubt is correct or not. Come on, Simon's story. The sun was high in the sky now. Philip was vaguely aware that the slaves had stopped for a break. It was completely a noon time and the slaves took a break in between, but his whole body was tensed, waiting. He was waiting for the subtraction and he was very much tensed. He prayed that he would be able to do it. He thought of what his teacher Cleon had told him. He was just remembering whatever was taught by his teacher. He was praying to God that the subtraction which will be given by Simon, he should be able to solve it correctly. The abacus is always right. If there is a mistake, it's you. His teacher Cleon always said that abacus is always right. Abacus does all the calculations correctly. So if the answer is wrong, it is person's mistake, not the mistake of the abacus. The architect nodded and glanced towards the side. He nodded his head. Nodding means shaking his head, and glanced towards the side. He looked towards the side where the construction was going on. Last one now. 5,000 take away 5. Now he said to Philip that this is the last question for you, and now you have to take out 5 from 5,000, means 5,000 minus 5. Philip got to work. He started his work on the abacus. The hundreds line would need 9 beads in it. He counted them one by one as he pushed them over. Soon he had finished. He looked at the result, 4,895. Now he did his calculation, everything using the beads on the abacus. He was supposed to get 9 beads in hundreds place. Okay, he was supposed to get 9 beads in hundreds place, but when he checked his answer, he looked at the result, he got 4,895. In hundreds place he got 8. So he was just about to say it when something stopped him. He was just about to say this answer, 4,895, but something stopped him. But how could it be wrong? He was quite sure he had moved all the beads correctly. Now in his mind he thought the result, the answer which he got on the abacus is wrong. But how it could be wrong? Because all the beads very carefully in a proper manner he moved all the beads, and an abacus couldn't be wrong, could it? Now there was a question in his mind, if I moved all the beads in a proper way, then how this abacus can give a wrong answer? Is it abacus mistake here? Could he trust his own judgment against the calculator? Now it was a big question in front of Philip. Could he judge? Could he trust his own judgment against the calculator? Whether he should consider his own answer against the calculator. It was a big question for him. Simon was waiting for his answer. Philip's head was buzzing. Now he was buzzing means he was too much confused whether to give answer or not, and Simon was sitting and waiting for his answer. So I hope this much is clear to you. Dear children, all of you read this chapter twice, thrice and try to understand it. Thank you.